hosts. I'm Diane Bortoletto.
And I'm Monique Ciccardo.
Let's do it.
Hello, and welcome to And Away We Go F1 podcast, a Formula One podcast that goes beyond the track limit to talk about travel, food, and lifestyle surrounding the sport. I'm Diane Bortoletto, your pre-Drive to Survive Formula One fan, and today I'm in Perth in Western Australia.
And I'm Monique Ciccardo, your post-Drive to Survive fan, and today I'm sitting in a very, very, very mysteriously foggy Stavanger.
Oh, gosh. Let's just send out a shout out to our Queensland friends who are all recovering from the aftermath of a cyclone up there. Yeah, I hope you're all safe.
All right, Di.
So much news going on, isn't there, Mon?
Oh my gosh. We're 1 week out from the start of the Formula One season and everything is hotting up. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. We have just had the drop of Drive to Survive Season 7. What episode are you up to?
I've just finished watching episode 7. I've only got 3 eps left and it's done. You?
I'm close to you. We got up to episode 6, almost episode 7. But my gosh, I think we've said in previous podcasts that this season of Drive to Survive was going to be one of the best yet because of the 2024 Formula One season. And so far, I think we were right.
I'm going to disagree.
Oh, really?
I don't know whether... Yep. Episode 7 is probably the best one I've watched yet. But all the episodes before that, I feel like, especially the first 3, I feel like they're very sanitized. That's how I'm feeling about it. I feel like they've just been edited. I don't know if it's me because I know that the teams see the episodes before they air and have an opinion. You know, they've got a chance to say, take that out. We don't want to say that. But it just seems really kind of vanilla to me. Like it's not as spicy as what I wanted, what I was expecting.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's how I'm feeling about it.
I literally have in my notes that the first 3 episodes were meh because the storyline is pretty much the same. Okay, so we've got the frenemies episode is number 2, which is Norris and Verstappen and their biff for the championship or their race towards the championship. But episode 1 was about Hamilton leaving for Ferrari. And then we go to episode 3 and you get the story from the other side and it's Mercedes trying to find who they're going to fill that seat. And then I think in episode 2, we still had a whole lot of like talk about, oh no, it was episode 4. It was all about where Sainz was going to go.
Yeah.
So for 3 episodes, we had this same storyline basically. So I do have to agree with you. The first 3 episodes, I think, were pretty meh. But episode 4 I really liked because you got some behind the scenes of the whole decision-making for Sainz.
I actually didn't know that Flavio Brigatore was the one that delayed the signing coming in and tempting Carlos. But yes, he's an interesting character, that one. He's been around for 150 million years, as you can tell. Interesting character. One who writes his own rules more often than not.
Yeah. He kind of reminds me of the old owner of Alpine before it turned to Alpine. It was the pink cars, Force India. He kind of reminds me of the old owner of Force India. Very exuberant out there. He loves to have beautiful women hanging off his shoulders, that kind of guy. Very much a party boy. You've kind of got to wade through those first couple of episodes before it starts getting a little bit more interesting. On your comment about them sanitizing it and making it a little bit like not as exciting, I think having watched the whole season and remembering the season so well and remembering a lot of the controversies and things that have happened, I did get a little bit annoyed at the editing and all of the fake conversations and the made up radio calls.
Yeah, me too. It's just, it's feeling a lot more manufactured than it has in the past and feeling a lot more staged than I ever remember Drive to Survive being. So look, if they continue on that path of the sanitization and the staging and the setup of all these fake conversations, it's just going to tank. It's just, it won't
absolutely
survive. The Drive to Survive won't survive. Episode 7 was, like I said, the best episode I've watched so far, and it was one based on Red Bull. So kind of spicy. We'll see what the last 3 have got in store.
I find the show really exciting because I get to sit and relive all these moments that I remember and I'm so excited by, and see like little snippets of what actually happened behind the scenes. So I think that's where my excitement comes from. But if you take that out of it and sit and look at the entire show, I think, having been a Drive to Survive fan from, series 1, I can agree with you that it's starting to feel a lot more manufactured and a lot more for the drama that's not, they're creating that a lot more, which is kind of sad. I mean, I still love watching it, of course, but
I really like seeing the behind the scenes stuff and all the meetings in cafes and offices and hotels and things like that. Anyway, we'd love to hear what you think. If you've watched Drive to Survive, drop us a comment either on social media or send us an email at andawaywegof1podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your thoughts on season 7 of Drive to Survive. Oh, and you had a watch party. You had a watch party for Drive to Survive, didn't you, Mon?
I did. We've got a couple of friends here in Stavanger who are also big Formula One fans and Drive to Survive fans. So I'm getting in early and had a watch party for Drive to Survive instead of one of the races, and managed to, well, I didn't cook up a feast because I didn't have a destination to cook a dish from, but I did make a beautiful big platter and I made a Drive to Survive cake.
A Drive to Survive cake. Amazing. Yeah, and it looked so good. Thanks for sending me photos. I was pretty jealous I wasn't there to be able to have a slice.
It was, oh my gosh, it was so nice. It was like a gingerbread mud cake with buttercream icing in red, black and white.
Yum. It looked amazing and sounds awesome. So you'll be posting pics of that?
I will share that. Probably in our Facebook group.
So join us on Facebook for the recipe and Mon's pics of her beautiful cake.
So now that Drive to Survive has opened the Formula One floodgates, we're literally hurtling straight into our Formula One season. We're going to be drowning in Formula One soon.
I know.
I'm so excited.
So am I. Like, I'm absolutely gagging for race 1, Melbourne. And as you know, I'm going to be there. As you know, I'm still looking for tickets. Anyone out there?
It's the race to the finish line. You're going to get tickets before the race.
I hope so. I have been invited to a couple of functions which are on 2 days before I land in Melbourne, which is unfortunate. And actually one of them just got cancelled because Jack Doohan is in Queensland, which is affected by the cyclone. But hey-ho, it's not the race, and that's where I really want to be.
Did you see that Leclerc is actually holding an event with, I think is it Chivas Regal? And he's having like a whiskey and piano night at one of the bars. And I've never wanted to be in Melbourne so bad. I want to see Leclerc play piano. Oh my gosh. And drink whiskey with him.
I know. You love your whiskey. I know.
And I love my Leclerc.
Oh. And Daniel Ricciardo's having a pop-up store on Chapel Street with his Enchanté merchandise.
Oh, lovely. And is he going to be selling his wine as well, or is it just his Enchanté?
I think it's just a retail outlet, like a pop-up shop for the clothing brand.
Oh, good on him. If anyone wants Enchanté merch, there you go.
There you go. Chapel Street. Check out DR's Instagram page for details.
Obviously, the whole race calendar starts this weekend. The first Formula One race of the season is the 16th of March. We've got 24 races to look forward to. We go from Melbourne to China. We have a break. We go to Japan. We go to Bahrain. We go to Saudi. Then we have another break, and then we keep going.
Oh, so good. It's so good. Less than a week till lights out. It's just really exciting. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Seeing the teams testing and the F175 launch has all been great, but let's get racing.
And we've got 5 rookies, 6 if you include the honorary rookie, Liam Lawson. He's kind of still a rookie. He's only had 6 races in a Formula One car. So I don't know. Yeah. Do we call him a rookie? Do we call him like a semi-rookie?
Oh, look, I think until you've had a full season, I think you have to be called a rookie. 6 rookies. Yeah, we've got Jack Doohan in Alpine, Kimi Antonelli, an Italian driver back on the grid for Mercedes. He's just 18. He's such a baby-faced young hopeful, but super quick, and the youngest driver on the grid. Then my cousin, Gabrielle Bortoletto with Kick Sauber. Cousin, not really a cousin, but same surname, different spelling.
1T, not 2.
1T, not 2, exactly. I'm very excited to see Gabrielle Bortoletto on the grid, but I'm also kind of secretly excited to be hearing Bortoletto said in the commentary over and over again. So my surname's been one of those surnames I've spent a lot of years spelling out on the phone when I'm meeting people all the time and having it misspelled constantly. So
I feel your pain.
Yeah, our family is the only Bortolettos in Australia, so it's not a very common surname here. So I'm kind of secretly excited for that as well.
You definitely can't have a drinking game on race day, because if you drink every time you hear your surname, you're going to be you're going to be passed out. It's not one to put on the bingo card or the drinking game list.
I'll run us through the other rookies, Mon.
Yeah, so we've got Ollie Behrman for Haas. He did do a stint in the Ferrari car last year. He filled in for Carlos Sainz when Sainz had his appendix out. So was that 1 or 2 races that he filled in?
Yeah, he did 2 races and he was super impressive.
Yeah. So Ollie Behrman for Haas. Isaac Hadjar for Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. Did I say it right? I think I did.
You did. Yeah, Alpha Tauri, those ones. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what's their name again? And then, yes, we have our honourable mention, who is Liam Lawson for Red Bull. So he's already done 6 races, obviously, for Visa Cash App Racing Bulls and been promoted to the Red Bull seat.
Yeah, so if you're new here, Liam Lawson was the one that replaced Daniel Ricciardo in the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, or Team RB, or VCARB, or AlphaTauri, however you want to call them. So he replaced Daniel Ricciardo for the last 6 races last year and has stepped up to the big leagues with Red Bull as teammate to 4-time world champion Max Verstappen.
This is going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. I am interested to see the team dynamics, given that Lawson has very publicly said that he is not there to make friends. He is there to race, which obviously fabulous. You need to have that mindset to be a world champion. I mean, look at Verstappen. There is very much a reason that he's world champion, but to have 2 of those types of mentalities in the one team, we'll see how that goes.
It's going to be fireworks. It's absolutely going to be fireworks. I am looking forward to that. And you'll really enjoy episode 7 because Liam features in that quite heavily.
Drive will I enjoy it?
Well, he's not playing the likeable card. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, and I'm sure Netflix would have very much framed him in that way as well.
So with our 24 race season ahead of us, we've got sprint races in China, Miami, Belgium, Austin, Brazil and Qatar. And I didn't know this, Mon. This is great research that you came up with, that the point for the fastest lap has been removed.
It has. I don't know how I feel about that, because I can totally understand their reasoning for taking it away. The point for the fastest lap could only be awarded to people who finished within the top 10. So if you finished within the top 10 and you also managed to clock the fastest lap out of the entire race, you got an extra point. But what was happening was that people that were running, the back markers, they obviously knew that they weren't going to get any points anyway. So in an effort to take that point off a team who might benefit from that point in the Constructors' Championship or in the Individual World Championship, the backmarkers were often pulling into the pits, putting on a pair of soft tyres and just going hell for leather at the very end to take that point off someone. And so
it's all part of strategy, though. Like, I kind of liked it. And Daniel Ricciardo did that on his last race before we knew it was his last race, when he got the boot from Team RB. I'm a bit sad that that's been removed. I liked the fastest lap point.
And I mean, if they're going to muck around with the point system and where points are going to be awarded, why not make it so that all 20 drivers, no matter where you finish, whether it's first position or 20th, get points,
Exactly.
20th position, 1 point, pole position, however many points. And I think that would make for exciting racing because then everyone at the back would be inclined to race as hard as possible because every point counts.
Exactly right. Exactly. Like, I agree. I think whoever gets fastest lap should get the point. But now it's abolished, so we can talk about this and it just means nothing because it's no longer a thing. It's been deleted. Well, the other news is Cadillac has been confirmed, which is no surprise.
Oh, yes.
Yes, so that's for next year, 2026. We will have 11 teams on the grid. So that means that there's 2 more drivers and 2 more seats up for grabs with Cadillac. The first time there's been an all-American works team, if you like, in Cadillac. So that'll be really exciting for 2026. Also, 2026 is when the new regulations come out. So this is the last year of the current regulations. So what that means is that in 2026, there'll be lots and lots of changes to the cars.
No DRS.
No DRS. So what that means is that this is the last year that the teams have got to take advantage of their fast car, if they have a fast car, or if they don't have such a fast car, kind of endure the season and put their efforts into a 2026 car. So we might see some back markers this year become really super fast and impressive next year.
It's just going to turn the whole system on its head, I think, because everyone's starting from an even playing field again. But as far as, you know, the car and the technology, everyone's starting from ground zero, basically, again. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And like you said, we've got Cadillac coming in as well, which means we've got 2 extra seats. And I've seen some really interesting posts about who they think should fill the seats. And people are like calling for Ricciardo to come back or for
Sergio
Vettel.
Oh, Vettel. Yes, I've seen Vettel as well, and Perez. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, I get it. People are still bitter about these people leaving or being dumped or whatever, but we've got to think forward when it comes to the sport. And yes, we all loved these characters and thought they were great racers in their heyday or whatever, but you've said before in previous episodes that comebacks are really hard to do, and a second comeback or a third comeback is just pretty much not going to happen. So it rules out Ricciardo. Also, I think he's ruled himself out of driving in Formula One again. He's not interested.
Well, let's just watch this space because he does love America. America does love him. So I'm not willing to put a line through Daniel Ricciardo and Cadillac at the moment. And he's also an 8-time race winner, Daniel Ricciardo. So so he comes with experience and he's been with a top team. I think he could bring a lot to Cadillac as far as experience goes from a development point of view. Anyway, we'll just have to wait and see. That's 2026. We've got a whole year to talk about that. Exactly
We've
right.
got a whole year. So we could talk about 2025 again, Di. Let's talk about 2025.
Oh, right. Season predictions. Let's get into it, Mon. I'm just going to give a shout out to a listener, Anuj, who suggested that we ask these questions to each other ahead of the season. So thank you, Anuj, for suggesting this.
Yay. Okay. I'm going to ask you first. What do you think this year is going to be a really great surprise?
A good surprise this year? I reckon it's going to be Bortoletto. I think he's going to be a good surprise. He comes with the background of winning F3 in his rookie year, F2 in his rookie year, and now he's in his rookie year in F1. He's not in a great car in the Kick Sauber, which will be Audi next year, but I've got to back my cousin. So I'm saying Bortoletto. And Ferrari, I think Lewis.
I knew you were going to have a second one. I just knew it. You couldn't limit it to one.
Do one? Come on. I think Ferrari is also going to be a really good surprise. But I don't think it'll be a surprise as so much. You know, people are expecting good things. And I feel like Lewis has just slotted into the team. And like we've said before, it just feels like he's always been wearing red. It's a very weird thing to say because he was with Mercedes for such a long time. There you go. What about you, Mon? What do you think will be a good surprise this season?
Or I reckon it's going to be Williams.
Oh, yes. Good call.
Albon, Sainz and Vowles. And if you've watched Drive to Survive and seen the episode with Sainz signing with Williams, I think Sainz says it all himself. He's like their vision, and Vowles is very open about Williams's flaws or where they're not so good, and he has a very clear path to fixing that, and that's what Sainz liked. And Sainz is very, very technically minded. He wants to help improve. Albon's a great driver. Sainz is a great driver. I just think that Williams is going to be a really good surprise this year. Yeah.
I would say that's a good call, definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Mon, second question. Who do you think is going to be the biggest flop?
Oh, I didn't do a who. I just did a big flop in general.
Okay. What's a big flop in general?
The Vegas F1.
I'm glad you said that because that's what I was going to say, but I've written a person. So, yes, Vegas.
Yeah.
A big flop. Why do you think Vegas is going to be a big flop?
I think they really struggled to get the whole mix right. So I just don't think that they've got the right idea together about how to run this race. It's too expensive. So they struggle to sell tickets. I've got 51 million emails from the Vegas Grand Prix trying to sell tickets already. And last year, them trying to sell tickets to the race, that it was just, they don't have the pricing right. Their track was so new that there were lots of issues with it. I think they're just focusing on the wrong things. So I just think that the Vegas race isn't going to work unless they make some pretty big changes.
Yeah, technical sporting changes and make it about the racing as opposed to the show. Yeah, good call.
Your flop?
My biggest flop, I'm sorry, mate, Isaac Hadjar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the Team RB, Visa, Cash App, Racing Bulls. I just don't think I think he'll be a bit of a flop. I'm sorry to say. He's not in a great car, and his results were pretty good in Formula 2, but
you're stepping up. I just don't think, I've watched the Formula 2 season last year, so I have seen him race, but I still don't think I've seen enough of him and enough kind of proof that he's cut out for Formula 1. I guess you could say that about a lot of the rookies, but a lot of the rookies we have actually seen drive an F1 car before, even if it was just 1 or 2 races.
I hope I'm wrong, but that's my pick. All right, who do you think's going to lose a race seat?
Okay, you ready? Lawson at Red Bull.
Oh, yes, a good one. Okay, all right. I'm glad you didn't say the J word.
No, because I have faith in this. That was one of my other picks for a good surprise, that Jack Doohan would impress and quash all rumours of him losing his race seat. But my prediction of Lawson losing his race seat, Red Bull are ruthless. Look what they did to Albon. Albon got dropped pretty immediately.
And Albon was so stressed. Like, I remember seeing all that play out, and it was hard to watch. Yeah, no, you're right. Red Bull are ruthless. They're known to be ruthless. They don't make any apologies for that.
Yeah, it's a sport. It's a business.
Yeah, so and, we know how hungry he is for this, and a part of me feels he could risk pushing too hard and making too many mistakes and crashing too many times, annoying Max, all that.
Yeah. Or just not performing. So I feel like, given what happened to Checo, there was some really big differences in where Max finished and Checo finished last season. I think they held on to Checo a lot longer than they ever would have if it was any other driver, because of the contract that they had with him, and they were trying to work out their exit strategy. But if Checo gets dumped for not finishing close enough to Max, and if that happens to Lawson, he's going to get dumped way quicker than what happened to Checo. So that's my prediction.
I'm not sure that will happen. You need to watch episode 7. So that's, I think Liam, looking at that, he's got the pace.
Sure.
It's just all the other stuff that goes with it, wanting to win, wanting to prove himself, wanting to just impress. And that's when, things can go wrong.
Make stupid mistakes.
Yep. Okay.
You mentioned that Hadjar's going to be a big flop. So who's going to lose their race seat then?
I chose Hadjar for that as well. Yeah. I think if he doesn't perform at RB, Visa, Cash App, VCarb, they will just say, had a chance, see you later, goodbye. And they might get Colapinto in that seat. Who knows?
Colapinto has been hanging around like a bad smell, hasn't he? He's got lots of teams have got their eyes on him. So,
new race winner, Mon. Who do you think is going to be a first-time Formula 1 winner?
Yuki Tsunoda.
Yuki! Oh, my God, you love him.
I went through this and I was like, it's not going to be Kimi Antonelli. I don't think it's going to be Kimi Antonelli.
I think so. That's my pick.
Yeah, interesting. It
Mm.
depends if Mercedes got a good enough car this year. That's the thing. Same with V Cup, they've got to have a good car for Yuki to win.
Yeah.
But then looking at all the other rookies, car's not good enough. Looking at all the other teams, car's not good enough. So by my powers of deduction, I chose Sonoda. But I think I also chose it because I didn't want to be predictable and say Antonelli. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I chose Antonelli because I think the Mercedes, given this is the final year of the current regulations, they won races last year in this car. So I'm thinking Antonelli, and he's super, super quick, very impressive.
Yeah.
Toto loves him. I think he'll get a lot of support in the Mercedes team to do well. And yeah.
Again, watching the Drive to Survive episode with Antonelli, that opened my eyes a lot to why he was chosen and how good of a driver he seems to be. I definitely see him being a race winner too. All right. Constructors champion. Do we say it together? 1, 2, 3.
McLaren. What did you say?
McLaren. We both said McLaren, but not together.
Oh, yeah, I think McLaren are going to be hard to beat. Who have you done a top 5 for constructors or top 10?
No, but just in my head, I'm going to, off the top of my head now, I'd say McLaren, Ferrari, and then I'm going to say Mercedes, Red Bull, and then Williams because I want them to be there.
Yeah. I've got McLaren, Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, Williams. Williams in 5th.
Oh, we're so close.
Yeah, let's hope Williams gets in. That'd be such a good story. I really have I don't know why, but I've got a real soft spot for Williams.
Me too.
Speaking of Williams, I'm actually really enjoying Claire Williams' commentary in Drive to Survive. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was a great idea to bring her back in. A female voice, B, someone who's been so involved at a different level to what a journalist obviously is with Formula One. So, and Claire Williams was the ex-CEO, wasn't she? Was that her title, CEO?
Yeah, she's Frank Williams'
her dad
daughter.
Founded it.
Exactly right.
So, but yeah, I have a real soft spot for Williams as well, especially with their current driver lineup and James Vowles. I like James.
Yeah, I like James as well. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Drivers, world champion drivers. Shall we say this one together?
Oh, I think it's going to be different, but let's go.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Oscar Piastri.
Norris. I told you I thought it would be different.
Norris for world champion. Oh, I couldn't bear it.
I know. Do you know what? The only reason I chose it is because I have a feeling he's going to be the favoured driver in the two, because both of them are so close. As we saw last season, Oscar was literally nipping at Norris's heels, and there was a lot of issue with McLaren's directives when that was happening because they didn't know who to favour because they wanted equal opportunity, which is, that sucked. But I still think because Norris is the more experienced, the favouritism is going to go his way, but it doesn't mean that Piastri isn't going to fight hard. I reckon they've got an equal chance, Di.
This is the way I think it'll play out. I think they'll see how they go in the first few races between Norris and Piastri, and then the team will make a decision on who they're going to...
Who to favour.
Who to position to win the Drivers' Championship. And I reckon Oscar's got the goods, so I'm choosing Oscar for Drivers' World Champion.
Drive to Survive, Will Buxton's comment about Piastri increasingly looking like a world champion contender and increasingly looking like a multiple world champion winner. I got goosebumps. I was like, he knows our boy.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly. Let's just hope that next year's car is as good as this year's car for them.
Honestly, McLaren have the driver lineup. If I'm going to choose any driver lineup, it's McLaren have the A-class top driver lineup.
Ferrari's driver lineup's pretty good as well.
Oh, I totally forgot about Ferrari.
Iconic team in the sport.
With a 7-time world champion driving for them. Oh my God, Mon. Yeah, okay. Anyway, next question, Di, and last question.
Yes.
Your big surprise / crazy prediction for the season. Bum, bum, bum.
Crazy prediction. My crazy prediction is that Williams is going to win a race.
Love it. I love it. Yes, let's make it happen.
It might be a Stephen Bradbury situation where everyone else crashes out and Williams finds themselves at the top step. But who cares? However it's delivered, that's my crazy prediction.
My crazy prediction is that Verstappen is going to announce his retirement.
Oh, that could happen. He's got a little baby on the way. He's won 4 world titles.
He's kind of settled into it.
Yeah, and if things at Red Bull, if there's still friction there, that there might be after all the dramas that they've had last year with the Christian Horner scandal, and then, Yoss's dad piping in, wanting Christian Horner to step down and leave, and with a new teammate coming in, he's going to be young and hungry and fiery. He's already annoyed half the grid. So, and I'm sure after watching Drive to Survive, he's going to be annoying the other half. So,
yeah. At the very least, I think he's going to announce that he is leaving Red Bull. My prediction is he's going to leave the sport, but at the very least, he will announce he's leaving Red Bull.
Crazy prediction.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. So next week, we will be back to regular programming, bringing you our wrap up of the week's race, a discussion about the race destination, and a peek into our kitchens to check out what we've been cooking and which dish we chose from whatever destination the race is in. So get ready. It's going to be the funnest 24 weeks. I cannot wait for it.
Oh, yeah. Look, just absolutely chomping at the bit for Lights Out. Oh, come on.
Anyway, thank you for listening, guys. And if you enjoyed our podcast, you can leave a rating or a comment or both. We would love it on any of your favorite podcast listening apps. You can also find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for fun shorts from the show, what we've been cooking, all sorts of fun things. So get involved there, or you can email us at andawaywego f1podcast@gmail.com.
Oh, thanks, Mon. I can't wait to start talking about the races again. Bring it on. Thank you, everyone, for having us in your ears. And until next week, and until Lights Out.
It's Lights Out and away we go!
And Away We Go podcast is produced by Diane Bortoletto and Monique Ciccato.
Let's do it.